Today's notes are on checks and register, or the checkbook. First thing we're going to do is look at a couple of pieces. One of the pieces is a deposit slip. So a deposit slip keeps track of the money that you're putting into the account that the bank holds for you. So when you put money in, if you put in cash, you record it on the first line. Any checks you record down underneath that. Then you get a subtotal from the list of those items. And if you want any cash back, you put that amount of money here. Normally you don't get cash back if you deposited cash. That would be unusual. So instead you get cash back usually when it's a check. So when you get cash back though, you have to sign over here. It says the sign for cash back. You also have to include the date of the transaction. So if you got cash out today, it would be October 23rd, 2019. And then you'd write the total of the deposit down here after you take your cash out, the less cash that they will give to you in cash. Okay? Then when we look at a check has the date, which you would put right here, of the transaction, the name of the organization you're paying, which is paid to the order of, so whoever you're writing the check to. And then here is the amount in numerals. And then you write the amount here in words. So let's try that again. The date would go here. The name of the organization you're writing it to would go here. The amount that you're paying in numerals would go here. The amount you're paying in words is going to go here. Then you're going to have your signature, which is going to go here. And the reason you're doing your transaction, see the 4 right here, is going to go right there. So those are all the pieces of a check. When you write a check, you need to be able to write those numbers and words amount. So I wanted to really quickly practice that with you. So if I have $14.49, I'm going to write 14 as a word. You don't have to write in cursive, but I do, so that's how I'm writing it. 14 and then the 49 over 100, because there's 100 pennies in a dollar, right? 49 pennies out of 100 pennies, so 49 cents. The next one is $335.38. So I write 335. And the decimal is an and then 38 cents is 38 over 100. Okay, now you try. You're going to write $141.78. Give you a second. Okay, did you get this? If so, you did it correctly. Okay, now we're going to actually practice filling out some checks. There's a little story right here at the top. It says you spend $41.25 at your local grocery store. Then you spend $67.12 at your local department store. Fill in the following checks. And we're going to not worry about the register right now. We're going to do that with a different activity in just a minute. So you start out with the date. Today's date is October the 23rd. So you can write October 23rd like this, 2019. You can go 10/23/2019. Whichever way you want to write it is fine. Then my local grocery store is Safeway, so I'm going to write Safeway. The amount I'm writing the check for is $41.25, so I put $41.25 here. Then I write it in words here. Once I do that, I draw a line through the rest of this so that nobody else can write something else in there without, making it obvious that they did so. Then I'm going to sign my check because it's not valid unless you sign it. And then I'm going to write what it was for. It tells me it was for groceries, so I'm going to write groceries right here. The next transaction is yours, so go ahead and give it a try. Did you get something that looks like this? I chose my department store to be Kohl's. I wrote it for $67.12. Wrote out 67 and 12 over 100, signed it, and it was for undergarments, I guess. Okay. Now I'm going to record the register part. This is the register. This is where we keep what's called a running balance. This says my balance, but we're really looking at a running balance. That's the actual balance of money I have, even though the bank hasn't taken the money out or it hasn't shown up in my account as a deposit yet, because deposits aren't available immediately. So we're going to walk through several transactions real quick and keep a running total for it so you know how to do that. And then we should be done with this set of notes. So on January 12th, which is 1/12, there was a deposit made. It was for $98. It wasn't a payment, so it goes under the deposits. I put a line through that and this because I'm not going to fill those spaces in, and I want to make sure I don't get confused. So at $584, I add $98, and I get $682. The next transaction is on the 13th. It is a check, which is number 66, so I record the check number here. And it is written to Hunter's Jeweler. Now you can write in the purpose, like if it was a gift or whatever, you can write this as part of the description. It was a payment of $84, so I'm going to write $84 here. And then it wasn't a deposit, so I draw a line through there. And then I have $682, and I'm going to subtract 84 cents. That's going to give me $598. The next transaction is on January 17th. It is a deposit. So again, I don't have a check number. And it's not a payment, it's a deposit. It was $142. So I'm going to add that because it's an increase. I'm going to add that to my balance. Now I have $740 to spend. My next transaction is on 1/25. It's check number 67. It's made out to Dylan's Furniture. And it was for $145. So I subtract $145 from my balance. It's going to give me $595 that I still have in my account to continue to spend. Then on February 8/8, I wrote a check number, on January 26th, let's fix that. On January 26th, I wrote check number 68 for Dakota's Candies. It was for $179. I hope it was really good chocolate. And then I'm going to subtract that from my balance because I've spent that much money. So now I have $416 left to spend. On February 8th, I write check number 69 to Gabriel's Books. Again, if this is a birthday present or a gift, you might want to record that. It is $65. And then I subtract that from the $416. Then on February 17th, I write check number 70 to Olivia's Restaurant. If it's a business transaction, you want to make a special note. If you're running your own company or you're doing something that you get reimbursed for, so you know when you go back into your register that you can expect that money eventually returned to you by your employer. So then I'm going to subtract the $167 from the $351, and that gives me $184. And then on February 22nd, there's a deposit And I'm going to let you do the next 3 transactions on your own and then check it with me when you're done. Okay, so then you should have put your deposit in of $190 and gotten $374. Then you wrote a check to the furniture store for $9. You should have gotten $365. And your last thing was a deposit for $176 for $541 as your final balance thus far. If you have any questions about that, let me know. We're going to do some of these exercises in class. This is the basic stuff for working with a checking account checkbook. And we will do some more notes later on reconciling the checkbook.